You're going to love this hero banner and how simple it was to build and have a bit of interaction with your hero banner and your website. So we've got a container and I'm going to show you how this was built. We've got a bit of text and we got an image over here. But underneath, we've got these other images. Now watch what happens if I go and click this image. Notice how that big image changed. And if I go and click here, it changes. I go back and it changes again. And this looks really good on the mobile as well. This is not using tabs, okay, or sliders or anything like that. This is literally just an image widget, and these are other images. And with a tiny bit of code, what this will do is when you click on any one of these, it will throw the source path of the image to this image over here. So this image actually is a dummy image, it's blank. But well, it's not completely blank, and I'll show you what I mean. But when you click any one of these, it sends the source path to this image. So you're not having to have loads of images, loads of slides and all of that. It is so simple and transformative. Let's have a look at it. Before I do that, let me show you the mobile view of it in case anyone goes, oh, you're lying, it ain't going to look good. You just have to modify what you're showing on the screen in terms of the sizes over here. And even though I haven't got a perfect grid of 3x3, you can still make it look good. And if I click on any of these images, it's going to change what you have over there. So it works perfectly fine. That's how much I love this. We've got a parent container. I've currently set this to be 1200 in pixel and I've made it 96. I could have gone for 100. I just made it 96 so everything looked pretty okay on the screen when I was doing the preview. I've got everything set as a row. Now, inside of this parent container, I have a child container, which you have over here. And then I have 10 images. We have image number 1, and then we have image 2, image 3, and these all sit below, going all the way to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 images below. You can have as many as you want, depending on the size you want to put out there. So we have a parent container, 1200. You know, if you want to go and add in any padding or anything like that, you can. There is no class name at all over here. And there is no CSS either. Let's go to the first child container. So if I expand on that, we have a child container. The layout of this is set to be 58%. It's a full width. You got to make sure your child containers and your sub-children are full width. Otherwise, it doesn't always work right. Something a lot of people sometimes overlook. Anyway, 58%. I've got my items set as a row. I've got some wrap. And I've got my aligned content to the left and to the start or the top. You go to the style, there's nothing going on there. The advanced tab, there's no class and there's no CSS either. So far, it's very, very simple. No groundbreaking stuff here. Parent container, and we've got a child container. Inside of the child container, we've got an icon, you know, your logo, or you could stick an image in there. I've got a WordPress menu. Now, the HTML is over here at the moment. That is what is going to send whatever image you click below to the first image. And I'll clarify that when we get to that stage. But just look at the structure. Got a heading and I've got another heading. And obviously, you would do your clamp, you know, to make it responsive and all of that. Again, like I said, this is not groundbreaking. Here's where it gets interesting, okay? We have an image over here. This image I have gone and populated. The reason I've populated it with the same image that you see down here is so that there is always something there. If you were to delete it, what will happen is you'll just get that dummy image appear or a blank space. So I want to ensure that I definitely have the first image. So if you imagine you've got images below and you've got further content over here, you could do that. I could start off with a completely different image like that. I could start off with something completely different, right? But then it kind of breaks the concept of what I'm trying to get over here. So I would say that go and set your first image to be that. Now, I do want to point out, though, that could you pop some text into here and it relays it? No, that's going to take a bit more work. But if you've got an image and there is text on the image, so it's been built with the text on top, which you have to watch out for when it comes to responsiveness, you could click it and it could pop over an image with the text on as well. So have a think about what you want to go for. Anyway, we've got an image and, you know, you go and set your size, your cover, how you want. We go to the advanced tab, give it the ID main-image. This is important because the code will now ensure that the path of these images goes to the main image. This image does have a width of 436. If you want to use percentage, you could do. I set it to be that because I wanted to ensure it fit nicely with the size of these images below in terms of its alignment. But go and set your width. You know, if I go and do that, you can see what it's doing, but make sure you set it correctly. And obviously, when you get to the mobile, you will again adjust your widths, full width, whatever you're going to do. You should be familiar with doing all of this, but the interesting bit gets to these bottom images. So I've gone and set every particular image. Go in and populate them with your images. You got to do that. All right, don't leave them blank. But every single image down here, they all follow the same pattern, except when you get to the mobile, where if I just remind you over here, they're the same size except the last two over here, because I intentionally did not want to have 9 images just to show you how if it's not odd or even, depending on your particular layout, just go and adjust it in terms of the width as to what you see. So each of these images below, I've gone and I have set them to be 180 pixels in height, set them to be cover, pick your image, go to the advanced tab. I've set them to be 11%. They've all got space between. The 11% worked really well. If you don't think it works well, go and adjust it to what you want. I've aligned them to be at the bottom. They're the same height, so it was never going to really be an issue. But the important bit is the class. I have given them the class name of thumbnail-image. Main image, main-image. The bottom ones are thumbnail-image. You want to change it, fine. Just make sure you adjust it in the code I'm about to show you. And in terms of the custom CSS, I did also add in cursor pointer. The reason I did that is because if you didn't, then you were going to get the arrow. And when you move over it, I wanted you to get the finger. The other thing I did also do, I've just remembered, is for each of these bottom images, if you go to the hover, I did add a grow hover animation. So as you move over them, you get that nice hover animation just to kind of prompt people to kind of want to click on it. And remember, if people don't want to click on it because they can kind of see all the images, they don't have to. They're not going to get anything amazingly new over here. What they will get, though, is like a zoomed in version of that image, a bigger one. Imagine you're an architect. Imagine you're a web designer. Imagine you build something like furniture or whatever, and you're going to have your main power impact image over here, but you want to also show a bit more. And you're kind of going, well, how can I do that? You could just do what I've done. But by adding in a little bit of interaction, because you might have an image here that's actually quite detailed, and someone might go, well, I think I can see what that shows. And they click it and it now sends it over there. Right, now let's go to the HTML code and let me expand, because that, my friends, and I'm just going to expand on my screen like that. That's literally it. It's not huge, is it? I mean, I have duplicated myself by putting this in here, so I forgot to mention that. If you don't put it in as the thumbnail-image for at least one of them, you can also pop it inside of the code. And I think this is sometimes a better way to do it. So this is going to take the source of the thumbnail image and dump it into the main image. I was playing around trying to come up with something, and then often my brain just clicks into gear and I know what prompt. And this was done with ChatGPT, but it's the prompt you give where you explain what you want. So this kind of gives you, I think, a more interactive hero banner. And it doesn't have to be a hero banner. It could be somewhere else on your page, right? You know, somewhere else where you have case studies or something. Or maybe you've got steps. Imagine that you're now trying to show the steps from when someone takes interest in a web design. So you might have like discovery, you know, concept brand and all of that, wireframing, designing, payments, you know, the way it all goes for handover. You could show different steps, you know, or it could even be components. So let's say you've built something like a car, let's just say, right? And now you're going to have the wireframe outside and then the engine and all the little bits before the car is built up. You know, use your imagination in what you want to go for. But with main image, thumbnail-image, setting your sizes, and you can adjust it for your mobile and your tablet. You know, you don't have to go for every single friggin' breakpoint. You drop the HTML code in and kaboom, you've got this pretty funky way of adding in a little bit of interaction. Hey, you saw it here first. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. See you soon.